Hi, you're watching Hindustan Times and I'm Aditi Prasad. Facebook has banned Donald Trump for 2 years, citing gravity of the circumstances, and announced changes to how it will treat rule-breaking world leaders in the future. Now, Trump's Facebook account will now remain suspended till January 7th, 2023. Now, the former US president had been initially suspended indefinitely from the social media giant after the January 6th insurrection at the US Capitol. It was the first time that Facebook had blocked a current president, prime minister, or head of state. Now, Facebook had justified the action at that time, saying that two of Donald Trump's posts sort of praised the attack, which was a violation of its policies. Facebook had also suspended Trump's Instagram account at that time. Now, it was at the same time and for similar reasons that Twitter, the other social media platform that Trump had used to great effect in projecting himself and to project his views, Twitter had also terminated Trump's account permanently around that time. So what exactly was the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol? Now, a mob of Trump supporters had invaded the US Capitol on that day to prevent a joint session of Congress from certifying President Joe Biden's election. The then Vice President Mike Pence, who was presiding over the session, had to actually flee to safety with other lawmakers. They, of course, returned after the complex and the police had been able to get rid of the rioters and completed the certification process. So now let's come to this 2-year ban. This decision has come on the back of Facebook's oversight board criticizing the open-ended nature of the suspension last month. Upholding that decision to freeze Trump's Facebook accounts, the board had said that it was, quote unquote, not appropriate for Facebook to impose the indeterminate penalty of indefinite suspension. Explaining the decision in a blog, Facebook's Vice President of Global Affairs, Nick Clegg, said that the 2-year sanction against Trump was long enough to allow a safe period of time after the acts of incitement, quote unquote, and a significant enough deterrent to Mr. Trump and others from committing such severe violations in future, again in quotes. So what happens in January 2023 when this penalty, that 2-year penalty, comes to an end? Facebook will at that time ask experts to assess whether the risk to public safety has receded and only then lift the suspension. Their statement says that if we determine that there is still a serious risk to public safety, we will extend the restriction for another set period of time and continue to reevaluate until that risk has completely receded. Donald Trump, meanwhile, has called the Facebook suspension an insult to Americans who voted for him. He added that they shouldn't be allowed to get away with this sort of censoring and silencing. Now, shut out by Facebook and Twitter, Trump has used his emails to shoot off sort of tweet-length press statements, just as he would have been posting on the social media platforms. And he does it multiple times a day even now. But his reach, of course, remains severely curtailed. This 2-year ban by Facebook denies Trump a major social media megaphone ahead of the November 2022 national midterm elections. However, it does mean that he will be or may be able to return to Facebook well before the next presidential election in late 2024. That is, unless Facebook says that the public safety risk has not receded and continues this freeze on Trump's social media sojourn, if I might say, call it that.